Welcome back everybody to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a 2024 Mazda CX-30. This is one of my favorite looking Mazdas that they have on their lineup, and it's also pretty affordable. So as usual, we take a look at the front end where you can see we have some chrome here with these really nice daytime running LEDs. If I give you a straight shot right here, you can kind of see how much it resembles sort of like a Mazda 3, I think. Looks really nice. You can see we have those like orange colored turn signals, and they're also on all the time as well, which looks fantastic. Then we have a front facing camera and a bunch of parking sensors because we do have 360-degree camera on this thing that is equipped with it. So I think the as tested price is $42,156. I believe that is the case. I'll throw it on screen, the exact pricing for this one, but it's pretty competitive price-wise, so we like that as well. And it's also pretty loaded. Another thing that looks absolutely fantastic before we continue is the fact that we have this fantastic looking red color with a white interior, which we'll take a look at a little bit later on in the video. So let's take a look next at what is powering this Mazda CX-30. We have the Sky Active G 2.5 four-cylinder turbocharged engine. That's going to give us 250 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. Now that only happens if you fuel with 93 octane. If you don't and you just go 87, you're going to get 227 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. But I can tell you right now, that doesn't make a difference. Next, let's take a look at the side profile for this Mazda CX-30. We can see how nice that red is in the shade here, as well as we can kind of get a little bit of spots in the sun. That's exactly why I decided to park it here. Looks really fantastic. Looks pretty low to the ground as well. You can see how compact it is. Very nice though. Man, that red looks really good. The black rims are not going to show up that much on camera, but I can tell you in person they're very nice. So next we come on to the back of the Mazda CX-30, where if we zoom in a little bit, you get a nice close look up of these nice taillights. Very circular, iconic, hasn't changed much over the years. CX-30 all-wheel drive badge, because all-wheel drive comes standard. Sky Active G Turbo badge as well, and of course we got this nice rear wiper. I like the fact that Mazda does not hide their exhaust. Really nice looking back end here as well. Let's check out how much room we have in the trunk space. It's an automatic tailgate, and for the price, I really like to see that. So it fits my tripod here perfectly, as well as the snow remover thing. You've got enough kind of room vertically here because we do have like kind of like a hatchbackiness kind of look to it, a compactness kind of look to it. You're kind of trading off trunk space and rear space. It's a little bit less on both sides, but I think if you fold down the seats, you can fit most big things in here that you would need to fit. So I'm very happy with this. So there you go. That's going to do it for the exterior tour of the Mazda CX-30. Let me know what you think. Do you like the color? Do you like the interior? We're going to hop in that next. Do you like this color? Do you like this trim? Would you buy it? Are you in the market for it? Let me know in the comments. Let's take a look at the interior. As usual, we'll start off with the rear first. You can see we're greeted by, look at that white interior. We also have a nice brown leather here too, which really splits things up, but I really do like this white interior. So let's hop in the back, check out how much room we're working with here. You see it's like a little bit of a tight squeeze to squeeze the knees in here, but we're in. I got some vents back here, no USB charging at all back here. But you can see the nice color on the doors. I like that. Just enough headroom here that I'm just kind of touching it with my hair. It's not too bad. Little bit of leg room, not that much. More space under the seat, which is good, but not so much knee room. I'm kind of pushing into the seat, but it is enough, right? Because when you're in a subcompact SUV like this, you really need to kind of trade. It's either you're trading one, you don't have much trunk space, but you got a lot of rear space, or you're kind of half and half. And I feel like the CX-30 is half and half. I don't have that much trunk space. I also don't have that much rear space, but I do have a bunch of front seat space. Last but not least, I have this guy. Folds down here, some nice cup holders. Yeah, I really like the white look of the seats on this. Of course, it's maybe gonna get dirty pretty quickly if you're not constantly keeping up after it, but I think it looks absolutely fantastic back here. You also have like a small little window there for like blind spots and stuff when you're driving around, so that's kind of useful too. I enjoy it. I think there's just enough room back here, but there's a lot more room up front, so let's come up there. All right, next up is the front seat for the Mazda CX-30. You can see again we have this nice color right here with the Bose logo, because we do have this Bose sound system up here. Also, we have the CX-30 badge kind of embroidered here, which does light up at night, and again we get these really nice white seats. So hopping inside the car now, we have some view button for a 360-degree camera. We've got some parking sensor stuff like that. We do have 2 memory seat settings, which is very nice to see at this price point, and an automatic tailgate trunk button, which is very good. Then, as you can see, like I've showed you a bunch of Mazdas in the past. I've showed you 2 actually so far, a bunch. 2. I've showed you 2 Mazdas so far, and you know what we're looking at is basically the same interior that had on the Mazda 3 and the Mazda CX-50, and here we are, Mazda CX-30. It's the exact same interior, but Is that a bad thing? I would say no, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you know and you like to use one, well, then you're just going to be comfortable with all of them. So here we go. Let's just check it out quick. I like the wrapping on the steering wheel. Very, very nice. I've got some media controls on my left-hand side, cruise control stuff on my right-hand side, and then here in the middle, I've got some good mix of digital and analog. Again, exactly the same setup as you've seen in recent years and in recent models. Very good. Then I have this like non-touchscreen thing that I have to use this little circle thing here for, but I like it. It's grown on me over time too, so I really can't hate on it at all. It's very solid, works very well. It's actually easier to use this knob than actually reaching for the touchscreen because it's so far away with the design here. So it's good to have, and it's very easy to use when we're driving. Moving a little bit lower, I have some HVAC controls. Only thing I'm really missing here is my ventilated seating. I have heated seats, I have heated steering, and so does the passenger, has heated seats. Dual zone automatic climate control. We also got wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, before I forget to mention that. Both are present here. Then a little bit lower, we have a wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders, a standard shifter, no need to go crazy on it. We have a sport mode button on or off, navigation, which is built into the infotainment. You don't need to use Apple CarPlay for it if you don't want to. Little volume knob, brake hold, really nice like brown color here on this little armrest that kind of folds back and gives you your USB charging space, and also your storage space right here as well, where I have a little USB, because I like to use the wired. And then we look at the seats. We also have a sunroof up here, but the seats are really, really nice. I like, again, the design of it. I like the white. I like the red exterior, the white interior, and also you can see the dash is covered with that black and brown kind of leather stitching. Very, very well done, especially for especially for this price point. It is very, very, very nice to see that. You don't see it very often. Having these kind of color options at $42,000 is a great, great thing to see. I'm very comfortable in here. Let's see actually how it drives on the road. Let's get to that POV drive. Okay, so here we are. Really nice day out on the road here with the Mazda CX-30 in very much comfort. This week has been super comfortable to have this car. I'm right on Friday, right at the end of the week here as I'm filming this thing, so I've been able to really drive this thing for a full couple of days here. And it's just been really good. Like, it's just been, for the price, I feel like this is a huge, huge competitive contender here. Like, it's so nimble, like, so easy to park, so easy to drive, easy to use too. Everything, you just kind of step in this vehicle and you know how it is. And like, the driving is just really solid. Like, I'm already really, really comfortable in it. The seats are actually more comfortable here in the CX-30 than they were in the CX-50, which is really, really surprising. I wasn't expecting that when, and also for the price, you're not expecting that. The CX-50 is like, fully loaded with the Suna edition, everything's like 51,000, something like that. This one's 42K, and I find it way more comfortable. Interesting. We also do get a sport mode in this thing, so I will put it in sport mode. I either have sport mode on or sport mode off. There's no in between. So here we go. Give the beams. And you know what? This thing is unnecessarily fast. Like, you don't need this, upgraded turbo engine. But the fact that I have it is so good. Like, when you slam it, it does kind of like, the shifting's a little weird. Like, it kind of like it feels like it does that sometimes. But when, you just kind of gradually, here, I'll do a gradual kind of press as I slow down here. Just, if I press it gradually now, go, 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 gradual. Like, I'm still getting enough power and I'm still getting enough pickup that I don't need to, like, you don't need to be mashing the throttle in this thing. And I don't think that's what it's meant to do. It's very, very solid for that. And I loved, and see if you drive just slightly over, your lane keep assist is on. It's going to beep at you. But yeah, if I drive just, I think all the other Mazdas have the same thing. Their power delivery is so smooth. It's like, it does shift quite hard in sport mode, and I do have paddle shifters to make it, a little bit more interesting if you wanted to, but you just don't need it. Like, I think you could save money and go with like the lesser engine. You're still going to get really good power delivery, and you still get all-wheel drive, which is a huge plus with these things. Like, all-wheel drive is kind of a must with these guys. I think across the board, having it standard makes it very nice. As you could have saw there in the beginning too, I have a bunch of safety features. I have my lane keep assist. I have adaptive cruise control. It's very easy to use, very easy to turn on and understand as well. This gauge cluster is also very easy to turn on and understand. It's like so similar to what the CX-50 was, so similar to what the Mazda 3 was, and I'm sure other Mazdas mostly have the same infotainment. I believe like maybe the CX-90 changes things up just a little bit, I think we have a fully digital gauge cluster in that one, but really it doesn't matter. Like, I'm completely fine with what I have here, and you know, it's okay for cost savings. If you're going to put the same digital analog cluster in every single Mazda, and that's going to save us money in the long run, I'm completely fine with them continuing to do that. It doesn't bother me one bit. Talk a bit about fuel economy. So I have been in the like 10.5, 11.5 range. I do a lot of city driving, a lot of stop and go, a little bit of these like kind of long stretches of like more, you know, quicker roads, not really a highway per se. A little bit of highway though, a little bit more than what I would usually do with the Mazdas, so that's nice, but it's pretty good. I mean, 11 to 10 was around what I was expecting, but again, I am driving in sport mode a lot. I am testing it, so our fuel economy numbers are hard to really go by, but I think Mazda quotes it around that area anyways, or maybe a bit lower than that, but so that's good. I mean, it's still gonna be decent, especially if you're driving it like normally and you're not constantly trying to test everything out on it. I think you're going to get pretty good range out of this thing. What would be cool though, speaking of just fuel economy wise, what would be cool in the future is if we saw Mazda add like maybe a plug-in hybrid or just like a mild hybrid system to these things, because that would make the bargain of a CX-30, stuff like that, just way better, because you get such great fuel economy if they made this a mild hybrid or just like a full plug-in. It would be really cool to see it, and I'm sure maybe Mazda's working on it. I'm sure they probably have plans to do it. I'm not surprised if I'm pretty sure they would do something like that. But as you can see now, I'm approaching some traffic, stuff like that, slower cars ahead. I can turn myself off of sport mode and just kind of relax and cruise, you know, and that's really what it's meant to do. Like, if you're on your way to a grocery store, you don't need to be in sport mode, but the good thing is the speed is there when you need it. And I find like even when I'm out of sport mode, the steering is quite stiff, which is nice. I actually somebody who prefers a stiffer steering. Like, when I can customize drive modes and stuff, my comfort mode or my custom mode always has the steering wheel on sports, because I like a little bit of feedback. I like the nimbleness of a steering wheel, and I feel like this car is extremely nimble. Like, it feels like the Mazda 3. The CX-50 obviously drove more like a full-size SUV. This really drives more like a sedan, I want to say. So overall, the Mazda CX-30 is comfortable, pretty good on fuel, actually fast when needed to, especially if you upgrade your engine, which you don't need to do, but if you do, it's quite a quick car, very nimble, drives like a sedan, but has the space of a compact SUV, and also comes with all the same conveniences that owning a compact SUV would afford you, so that's really nice as well. And I just like it. I like the feel. It's fully loaded with features that we went over before. The exterior looks fantastic. I love it in this red and the white interior. I think that's the trim I would actually probably go with if I was to actually buy one of these things, which is fantastic. And we have heads-up display, different things like that just make this such a great bargain for $42,000, especially in today's market where everything just keeps going up. So with that being said, I think I'll go ahead and leave the video here for today. If you liked it, make sure to go ahead and watch another one. I've got a whole bunch of cars coming up, and I've done a whole bunch of cars in the past, ranging from the low end all the way up to a Jaguar F-Type on the high end, even a Cadillac Escalade. So if you're interested in any of those cars and what it's like to live with them or what it's like to own them, stuff like that, I've got week with videos for almost every single one of them. Those are coming out on the channel. And if you want to see what it's like to actually live with this thing in your driveway, I've got a review of that coming out just after this one. So this one will drop on the review for this will drop on a Friday, then the Wednesday following would be the review for the Mazda CX-30, what it's like to live with it. So that being said, I'll go ahead and leave it there. I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.